Welcome to this video on Microsoft Teams. It's a quick guide for parents and students who are new to Teams and maybe you're using it for remote learning. So to get started, if you Google Teams, you'll find the top link here will take you to the right place and you just click the big sign in button on that page. Now your login will be your school email address, so you'll have to type that in. And you should have a password from the school as well. It should be the same one you use to access your emails in school or log into the desktops at school. Once you've signed in, you'll see this tiled interface. This is a list of all of your classes that you're a member of. You might recognize some of the names depending on how they've been named in school. So I can see this is probably an English class. This is my PE class. And if there's been any new activity in any of those classes since you last logged in, you'll see them highlighted as bold. You might also see some activity in the activity feed. To open up one of your classes, you just click on the tile. So I'm going to go into 11Y English 3. And inside here, I can see any posts that the teacher's posted. And I will also see any virtual lessons that the teacher provides. So my teacher is just about to start a new lesson. And I can see that it's popped up here, lesson 2 of Mice and Men. It's live, so I can join it. The teacher might also record this so I can come back and view it later. So as a student, I can come in and I can click join. So if you have a webcam and a microphone on your computer, you can turn those on when you join into the group. I probably suggest that you turn them off when you go in, just so it's easier for the teacher to manage. And you can always unmute your microphone if you have a question during the lesson. You then click join now to join it. And now I will be able to see if the teacher decides to share their screen, shows a PowerPoint. They might even have a webcam where they're presenting live from a video feed, and this will all appear on this page. If I want to unmute myself to ask any questions, I can just click on the button here to unmute my mic, and I can ask questions, and I can mute it again when I've finished. At the end of the lesson, I can press the red button here to end the session, to leave it, dismiss that. And when the teacher's finished, they might also have recorded this lesson and it will appear here as a recording so I can review it and revise from it if I need to. In the conversation panel, I can also post a message that the whole class can see, but it might be quite useful for other people if you've got a question that you need to ask. If you want to mention the teacher so they get notified when you send this message, you can just use the @ symbol and type in the teacher's name to tag them in that message. The teacher will be notified of that, and if they reply back at a later time, that will appear under your activity feed, so you can always come back and review that. And we can see we get an instant notification in the bottom right that the teacher has replied back to the message that we've posted. So you've also got some additional options across the top here, and these might be used for activities within the class. So we've got a Files tab, and this is where the teacher might drop off some class materials, and you might also have your own personal student work folder in here. So I've got a folder here that only me and the teacher can see, and I might drop off some work here, drag and drop it in here. I might create some brand new documents in here, maybe some coursework or some classwork that only me and the teacher can see. You've then got the class notebook. And in the class notebook, every student will have their own section in which they can take their own notes, maybe do some homework. It's effectively an exercise book that's online that both you and the teacher can see. It's really easy to create a new page in here. I just right-click New Page and start typing. So the teacher might also set you assignments, whether it's part of the classwork or it's a piece of homework. So to see those, you go to the assignment tab and you'll see that I've got one assigned for this class I can also expand out the completed ones and see all the previous assignments that I've completed. So to see this assignment and to look at the details of it and to complete it and send it back to the teacher, I just click on it here. And I can see the title of it, I can see the instructions. The teacher might attach some work. This might be a worksheet that I can click on and I can edit and return back to the teacher. Or I could submit my own work. So there's a plus work option here. And I could upload a document that I've created in my OneDrive, my own personal area. I can add a file, so I can create a brand new file to submit to the teacher. Or I can even upload a file from my device. So if you've created a file on your computer, you can upload that as your assignment submission. I'm going to create a brand new file, so I'm going to create a Word document. Call it My Essay. And you see it creates a new document here called My Essay. I can then click on it to open it up and edit it. Once you've finished editing it, you can just press the close button in the top right. It will save automatically, so there's no need to press save. I can see that there's 100 points possible for this assignment. And there's also something called a rubric. And this really is just the teacher's criteria for marking the work. So I can see exactly what I need to achieve to get the best grade. You can always come back and complete this assignment later. You don't have to do it all in one go. But when you are ready to submit it to the teacher, I click Hand In. You'll get a little animation appear. And this has now been sent to the teacher for them to mark the work. If I go back to the assignments page, I can see there are no longer any assigned tasks. There are some that I've completed earlier. And if I want to, I can look back at one of those and I can see the work that was graded, the points and the feedback, not good enough that time. And if the teacher wants me to, I can always work on it again and hand it in again. I've then got a grades tab, and this will show me all the assignments that I've been set throughout this academic year for this class. So I can see the history of it here. And the teacher might instruct me to have a look at some long-term resources that they have for Year 11 English. And there's another tab here to see those files and to get access to them from the class team. The teacher might create additional channels. For example, I've got Team 1 here. They might create these for group work or for other purposes, but it's best to follow the instructions of your teacher when using the additional channels that they have created. If I want to go back to all the teams and pick a different class, I just click the All Teams button here, and then I can go into another group and do my work for that particular class. You can see when I've got a new activity, it will appear here as a red number. And if I click on the activity feed, I can see all the assignments have been set to me, any messages have been replied back to, so you don't miss anything from your classes. So I hope that's given you a good idea of how you might use Teams if you're remotely learning from home.